What is going on, guys? Jordan Volpe here. First and foremost, thank you very much for tuning in and welcome to What Are Macros / How to Track Your Macronutrients. First of all, you may be wondering, what are macros? So there are 3 macronutrients: protein, carbs, and fats. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs, 4 calories. 1 gram of fat, 9 calories. So on a gram per gram basis, you're gonna be eating a lot more protein and carbs than fats. So I track my macros using MyFitnessPal, and I think this is a very important aspect, guys. The app is just gonna help you track everything so much better. So I just punch all my daily stuff in here. Everything fits in. They have most brands. As you can see, they're Power Bar, Vector Energy Bar. It's all in a company. You can actually just scan the barcodes for items like that. For fruits and vegetables, you just punch it in and it will come up. As you can see, those are my daily totals so far for today. So everyone's categorized into 3 different body types: the ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. So first of all, the ectomorph, that's your naturally thin person with a very high carb tolerance and fast metabolic rate. This is a guy that can eat a ton of food, still have a 6-pack while you're grinding your ass off trying to get a 6-pack and dieting. He's just keeping that 6-pack, eating mac and cheese or whatever he wants, that guy. Then you got your mesomorph, definitely more of a naturally muscular and athletic guy. They'll be able to be more liberal with their carb intake because their metabolic rate is moderate as well. They're just going to gain muscle a lot easier, definitely than the ectomorph, and definitely shred down a lot easier than the endomorph. We'll move on to the endomorph now. That's where I sit. I'm in between an endo and a meso, in my opinion. I'm a little bit naturally heavier set, as an endomorph is. A little bit of a lower carb tolerance and metabolic rate. So endos, because you carry a little more fat, you gotta watch your carb intake, unless you're doing tons of cardio and stuff like that. So personally, like I said, these are just starting points. So my carbs and fats are a little bit different than this, but these are just great starting points for all 3 body types. We're gonna go a little more in depth with each macronutrient, starting with protein. So an adequate protein intake will help produce muscle and or prevent muscle loss if you're in a calorie deficit. So bulking or cutting, protein intake is extremely important. Definitely when you're cutting, it's definitely gonna help to maintain your gains, and when you're bulking, it's just gonna help aid in growing new muscle. It also controls appetite and staves off hunger, better than fats and carbohydrates. It's gonna help you make you feel full longer. Again, another thing, especially when in a calorie deficit, you definitely wanna feel full from all your meals. You don't wanna eat a meal and then feel hungry right again after. And also, it requires more energy than other macros to digest, thus burning more calories gram for gram. All these things, obviously you can see a high protein diet is definitely going to aid in fat loss and is a key component in muscle building. So where do I get it? These are the main sources that I actually use. Obviously meat, fish, dairy, protein supplements, those are the main categories of protein that you can get. So for meat, chicken, steak, pork, lean ground beef. I definitely try to keep it lean in the meat department. That sounds kind of weird, but definitely try to keep it lean. Definitely, I wouldn't eat like 2 servings of steak in the same day, just because of the high fat content. Fish, tuna, salmon, tilapia, definitely canned tuna. That's something, tuna sandwiches. I just think it's a really good quick protein on the go. So definitely hit that up a lot. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, eggs, and cheese. Once again, cottage cheese, I actually have that every single night before bed. It's a great source of casein protein, so that's definitely one of my go-tos. Eggs, I do start my days with eggs every once in a while. I either go eggs or oatmeal normally. And then on to protein supplements. And I gotta say here, guys, like, you definitely don't want to be having multiple protein supplements in a day. I definitely shoot for just one and to be getting all of your protein from natural sources. I definitely recommend that. But if you're on the go, or maybe you're saving up that day, maybe that day you want pizza, so you've saved up a bunch of calories for pizza, because you can do that when you're counting your macros, and you have a couple protein shakes. You know what, on the occasional day, that's okay. But my main sources are protein supplements, protein bars, whey protein, muscle milk. I just put white sugar here. I think you gotta be careful. There's other kinds of, similar to muscle milk, other brands, they're extremely high in sugar. 26, 27 grams, so how much is muscle pop? So definitely recommend watching that when you're buying the pre-made shakes. And then just beef jerky, another great on-the-go snack that's gonna be high in protein. So another maybe common misconception or something that can get thrown around is that nuts are a good source of protein. Some people might say that, maybe your mom's like, yeah, nuts are a great source of protein. I know my mom's told me that before. I don't know how much she actually knows about nutrition. Nuts are often cited as a good source of protein, but in reality, only about 15 to 20% of calories in this food come from protein. A great example would be almonds. Someone might say they're high in protein because they have 8 to 10 grams for whatever serving size, but really you're getting 73% fat. We'll move on to how much protein you need for the day. So I think it's really important to shoot for at least 1 gram per pound of body weight, and I think that's the standard that most people will tell you. I know you can go up to 1.25, 1.5 grams per gram of body weight. That's especially when you're in a deficit and you're really trying to preserve that hard-earned muscle. But when you're bulking and stuff like that, one gram per pound of body weight, you want to get tons of carbs to get good energy with your workouts, get good pumps, and to build that quality muscle. Next up, we're talking fats. So fats, something that, definitely they can get a bad rap. A lot of people think if you eat fats, you're gonna get fat. That's definitely not the case, as we discussed with the ketogenic diet down at the bottom here. But fats, they're crucial for hormone production. If you're not eating enough fat in your diet, you can have low energy, potentially a low sex drive. And let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, nobody wants a low sex drive, right? I don't think anybody wants that. Body requires it to live. An essential nutrient, assists in vitamin absorption, hormone regulation, and brain function. So all in all, as you can tell, an extremely important part of your diet. Some good sources of fat would include avocado, peanut butter, cheese, eggs. Once again, it kind of doubles as a protein source and a fat source. Chia seeds, I'll put those on top of my cottage cheese. That is also a superfood, something that is very good, very high in omega-3s. Extra virgin olive oil, I'll cook with that instead of cooking with Pam spray. And then nuts, just grab a handful of nuts to snack on every once in a while. How much do I need? This is something that I think is definitely up for debate. As you can see, the standard diet would suggest between 15 and 45% of your total daily calories come from fats. 15 probably being when someone's cutting or something like that. They're probably normally going to be a little bit higher than 15%. But again, everyone's different. And then that's where you take a look at the ketogenic diet. I wanted to include this just because it's so different. So this is almost a solely fat-based diet. As you can see, the Hopkins version, which is the original, up to 90% fat, 8% protein, and only 2% carbs. So obviously, and those carbs are coming from green vegetables. They aren't coming from high glycemic carbohydrates. So obviously very interesting, and the science behind this is rather than your body use carbohydrates and glucose for fuel, your body actually converts to using ketones and fat as fuel. So very interesting. There's studies out there showing that it helps epilepsy, fights cancer, and has been known to boost performance. It takes a bit of a transition period to transition over to the keto diet. It's definitely something that takes a lot of discipline as well. It's going to be a lot harder to eat out. Traveling is going to be a lot more difficult on a ketogenic diet, but there's many people that are doing it, and there's lots more ketogenic supplements, I guess, that are coming out. So it's definitely something that, if you're suffering definitely from epilepsy or anything like that, definitely something to look into. And now the modern day athlete has started to adopt it as well. Finishing off with carbohydrates here. So carbs are stored in the muscles as glycogen, once again important for brain function, unless of course you're on a ketogenic diet. Important, goes through the blood, liver. Our bodies use carbs to store energy. So main sources that you're going to find your carbohydrates: fruits, vegetables, grains, potato, corn, stuff like that. All your processed foods and drinks. Basically everything that you crave on a low carb diet. Let's be honest, we've probably all been there trying to go low carb, and it's definitely not the easiest thing to do. There's no doubt about that. How much do I need? So carbohydrates are the one macronutrient that are actually not key for survival. You don't really actually need carbohydrates. So as it says here, you can live on 0 carbs, and that's basically the ketogenic diet that some people are doing. But bodybuilders or endurance athletes have been known to consume more than 700 plus grams a day, which obviously that's a ton of carbohydrates. Me being somebody who has a moderate work schedule, I'm on my feet for a certain time of day. I probably take right around 5,000 to 7,000 steps a day. So that all plays into when you're factoring your total caloric intake. But so for me, my carbohydrates are around 300 to 400 grams a day, depending on how physical that day happened to be. So as you can see again, 0.5 grams to 2 grams per pound of lean body mass. That's just another way to calculate it, and between 15 to 45%. Once again, just a ratio depending on, once again, activity level, weight, body fat percentage, and your goals. So I really hope you guys learned something with this video. Definitely something that's not super complex, and I really think that if you're serious about your weight loss goals or your weight gain goals in the gym, or really just anything that you want to be, fit and active, I think calculating macronutrients is extremely important. Check out MyFitnessPal app, and even if you guys only do it for a week, where you really track, I think it's a really good learning experience. Measure everything out, do the portion sizes, because really most people, they overestimate the amount of food that they're eating. So thank you very much for tuning in, guys. Hope you have a great rest of the day.